back to my channel. So for this video, I'm going to be, I don't know if you guys remember, but a few videos ago I was talking about Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz. I mentioned it in that video. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I thought that today would be a good day to talk about this book. And if you have not noticed in the title why I really detest this book, I don't like it. I got this book last year when I was at the Miami Book Fair, and basically HarperCollins was one of the vendors, and I was talking to the representatives and were there at HarperCollins, and I basically did like this test and I got a free book. And so because they knew I loved contemporary and that I was I love romance, they recommended me this book. Just for you guys to know, if this was circling around BookTube. I remember seeing it a little bit around BookTube a few months ago before I won this book. And I was really excited because at the time, it was, I guess, like 2 weeks before the election was happening, and we had all this talk about immigration and everything. And that was kind of when this book kind of was on the literary scene. And just to tell you guys, this book is about Jasmine de los Santos. So I'm going to start with the synopsis. And basically Jasmine is a high school student. She's very, very smart, and she has straight A's, and she's very involved, and she's a great A1 student basically. And she's Filipino, she's Filipino American, well, not American, sorry, she's Filipino, and basically she becomes a contender for this big scholarship, something like that. It was like there's this big presidential scholarship that she can win, and she can win a full ride scholarship to any college of her choice. And when she goes and she tells her parents that she's won, and she's to travel to Washington for a banquet and basically to celebrate her, and as well as all the other recipients of the scholarship, her parents tell her that they are illegal, and therefore she cannot go to college. And so basically this whole book is basically just her trying to figure out, reevaluate, not reevaluate, but it's just trying to come to terms with the fact that she is illegal. Mind you, she never knew. And so yeah, I mean, I was really excited to read this book. I have not read a book on immigration or dealing with illegal, people that are illegal, things like that. Now, I know personally a few people that are illegal, and I know that it's an experience that is different for each person, and it's a very emotional and very hard thing to deal with, not being a citizen of a country, and you feel like you're part of that country, but it's not official, and it's something that is so emotionally draining and hard because they don't have the same rights as we do. They're not protected, and there's a lot of things that they're prohibited from doing because of the fact that they are not citizens. And so I was really excited when I got this book because I was like, wow, this is going to be really, really cool. On top of that, I knew that Melissa De La Cruz is Filipino herself, so I thought it would be really cool, since I didn't know anything about people from the Philippines. I thought it would be really cool to kind of read a book that has that kind of cultural aspect to it. When I started reading it, I knew going in that this was going to be a chick lit kind of book. I mean, not only because of the cover. I mean, the light flowery like colors and the font and everything. I knew not only that, but also, and we know that Melissa De La Cruz wrote The Descendants or whatever, and so I already had an idea of what kind of book it was gonna be. But I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna judge it. Maybe this is because she's Filipino and because this is a serious issue, this is going to be a really good book. I started reading it, and it just felt like a chore reading it, because I guess maybe it has something to do with me. I've grown so much and I've matured so much over the years that chick lit books don't do it for me anymore. Sometimes it's nice to have a lighthearted read, so I'll read maybe Meg Cabot or or whatever, but Meg Cabot's my only favorite chick lit author to read. I don't really read any other chick lit authors, because Meg Cabot is really, really good to me. She's really good. Not only it's not just chick lit, but she adds a little bit more dimension and humor to her books that I really, really enjoy. I have not read any Sofia Kinsella's books, but I plan on reading her in the future. But I had never read Melissa De La Cruz, so I was giving her a chance. And here's my issues with this book. My issues with the book is that, one, Jasmine just feels like there is nothing really, I feel, that's authentic about herself. I'm not talking about the cultural references in this book. Like, you still have the Filipino cultural references of the language, and then the food, and her talking about growing up, you know, being born in Philippines and being, you know, part of there, and then coming at a very young age. So for the most part, she's more American than Filipino, and which I can relate, because I was born here. My parents are Haitian, but I'm more American. Even though I am Haitian American, I do connect a little bit more to my American side just because I live here and I grew up here. But I can relate to that. But the thing is, it just feels like she is a character that you read in every, I'm sorry, but white chicklet book, and it just feels like she's just spraying, like, you know, the Filipino cultural aspects to that character and saying, okay, this is an immigrant. And I feel like she didn't dig deep enough in terms of understanding possibly of what could have happened. I know that her love interest is supposed to be the son of a senator that's trying to really, like, strap down on immigration and make it harder for illegals to, you know, to get citizenship. And so there's that aspect of it, which, to be honest with you, I feel like, I mean, it's interesting plot. I mean, it's an interesting subplot to add that into the book, but the book did not do it for me. I had a huge problem with the character. I had a huge problem with the writing style. It just felt so elementary to me, like, for such a serious topic as someone that is illegal in this country. And of course we know all the issues that derives from that. You know, we have, because the issue of immigration is so complex, and it's so multifaceted in terms of how we can solve this issue, and how each individual illegal immigrant has a different experience. And to generalize and have it under a broad brush, and it just felt like that to me. It did not. It felt so impersonal. I was not connected to the story. I was not connected to Jasmine. I didn't even finish the book. Like, the book, I think I only got. I'm gonna tell you exactly. Oh, another thing too, the length. I have a huge problem with the length. Like, for a chick lit book, I mean, this is supposed to be, for the kind of book that it is, it would make sense if it's maybe like 150 to 200 pages max. This book is 435 pages. Like, why? And then it's like some chapters, like, it just felt like also she could have edited a lot of things too. Like, it just felt very wordy, and some things were exaggerated, and some things, like, I was like, it didn't feel like it connected. I didn't know what she was getting her point across, and, like, how it connected to the book, how it connected to the issue. I didn't even care to know what happened at the end of it. I don't care to know. I mean, I could already kind of see, and if I'm wrong, if you guys have read this book and I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong or not. But I already saw the ending of her finding some way to go to college, or maybe on some sort of green card, or, like, she has some way of still going to the college of her choice with full aid. And she goes with the guy's son, and she changes the senator's mind from strapping down on immigration. Now, I'm not saying that, like, I'm sorry about the lighting, guys, because it's kind of changing, but I'm not saying that that doesn't make the book good. Like, a book can't have a happy ending. It can, but it's just, it just felt like Melissa De La Cruz was benefiting from the issue of, like, all these problems that we have with immigration, and then, of course, just recently with the Syrian chemical gassing crisis that just happened a few days ago, and all of those hundreds of people, thousands of people dying and being killed. And immigration is such a serious issue in not only the United States but in Europe as well, and we're talking about, and in the way that it just felt like she was just using that as a PR for this book, and this book did not just like rub, like it was very shallow and rubbed the surface of immigration and that issue of immigration. And I hated it. I honestly hated it. There was this story had a lot of potential. It just didn't do it. It missed the mark completely. And I'm never going to pick up another Melissa De La Cruz book. And so yeah. So that is my frustration. I'm not even gonna plan on finishing it. If any of you guys are interested in reading this book yourself, that's perfectly fine. I am not trying to hit at you guys to not read the book. You can go ahead and read the book if you want to, have your own opinion. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below why you disagree with me, or if you kind of see where I'm coming from, if you've read the book or whatever, let me know in the comments below. And if any of you guys are looking for a free copy of a book and you still want to read it, definitely direct message me on Instagram. I'll leave my link down below, and I will personally mail this to you guys. You guys can totally take this book. I really don't care to have it in my library. And yeah, so thank you guys. It's my first bad book that I've read this year, so it's kind of crazy, but you know, we'll see. Hopefully it's the only one, but you know, I don't want to talk too soon. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll do more reviews on young adult books. I think I'll give them a chance again. I've just been going through this phase of like hating young adult just because it just seems so dry nowadays and just seems like a repetition of the same thing. So I've been having like this inner battle with young adult. But I will go back and read young adult, and I'll do more reviews like this. So you guys let me know in the comments below if you like them. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.